Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel for more Zee World update. So the last update about Twist of Fate. Pallavi was shocked to see Rhea at Zee's wealth while Pragya was battling with her emotions about Abhi. Let's continue. Pallavi tells Beji that whatever they want to do, they shall go to their home and do. Ramru tells Pallavi that they came here as Sid asked him. He says that both of you speak your heart and tells Prachi that he cannot see her insult. Prachi says that he has changed after marriage. Ramru says I am not changed, but you have changed. He says my relationship haven't changed with you. It is still the same, but changed with Prachi. Ramru says why is turning your face from us, tells that Prachi didn't force me to marry, but I forced her to marry me. He says I went to the temple that day and then told her that if she doesn't marry me, then I would die. He says he forced her to marry him. He says when Prachi and I went to Bangalore, Prachi says that then Ramru came there and told me about you. I told you I cannot marry without my consent. That's why they went to Bangalore and got Sid married to the girl whom I would never approve. Pallavi says that they might have told you that I will permit them to stay here and tells that they are taking revenge from her. Sid says that my marriage is not related to them. Let me and my wife explain. Pallavi says that I don't want to know how Sankari, beautiful or lovely she is, but I will not accept her. She says if you want to say this, then leave my house. Take them along with you. Rhea calls Pallavi and lifts her veil. Pallavi is shocked to see her and takes her name. She recalls Rhea's suicide attempt and everything. She says Sid married you. Rhea says that they were explaining the same thing. She says none of us forgot the past. She says that even she was hurt. She says that Sid got married to me and he cannot change it. Pallavi says I will never accept the girl, which is not my choice. Sid says you are upset with me as I married Prachi's sister. Pallavi says that you didn't know what happened on the marriage day. Rhea says that she doesn't want to burden her shoulders with their past and wants to start afresh with her marriage. Sid says I got married to Rhea with all the rituals. Whatever happens in real marriage, tells that he had told girlfriend that he had never had any girlfriends and he always thought that he would befriend his wife. He says he witnessed the God and married her. Rhea says, I know you very well, auntie. You are soft at heart and I am sure that you will search your happiness in your kids. She says whatever decision you take, we would accept from our heart. Gautam gets a call from his dad. He asks what happened at home. All bottles and glasses are on the ground. Gautam says that all the servants are in the farmhouse as there is a private party there. He says that his heart is falling on Pragya now and says that he will take her there. His dad says that you are playing with fire. Gautam says I will party with her and then I will express my feelings to her. He gets busy in talking and hits Abhi. Abhi managed to save himself somehow. Gautam ends the call and gets down from the car. He asks Abhi if he wants to die. Abhi asks if he makes death certificate. Gautam says I know such people like you. You struck with a car intentionally. Abhi says that you are talking on phone and driving. Gautam says that he is going to meet his new would-be girlfriend. Abhi says I bless you. You will break up with her today. Constable comes there and says I would have caught the chandler if I am on duty. Abhi goes. Pallavi asks Sid to tell them whatever happened. Sid says that he has seen Rhea in the pub. Rhea says that she saw a girl putting drugs in his pocket. Sid says that Rhea saved me and stood by me. Pallavi asks why didn't you call me? He says he did not get time. Rhea says that the police was doubtful on us and followed us. She says we stayed in Sid's hotel room. She thought to leave in the morning. Sid says that then they found another packet of drugs. She then flushed it. Rhea tells about her friend's call. Sid says that we had to elope as we didn't have drugs. He says they ran and reached banquet hall. He says groom and bride suggested us to marry. Rhea says I thought I shall marry Sid. Sid says we got married then and then the drug dealer was caught. Rhea says that then I came to know that I got married to Ramru's elder brother. She says I became the daughter-in-law of the house where I was about to become the daughter-in-law before. She says maybe this marriage was written in my destiny. Pragya tells her secretary that Sushma auntie gave her clear instructions to drop him. The secretary says that I was taking him, but he says that it was his house. She says that he was going out and I thought. Pragya says you thought. She says you should have understood that it was his trick. He is so smart. The secretary says that he is smart and he tricked nicely, that I thought that it was not a bad guy. Pragya thinks that even I couldn't identify him. She asks her to call Gautam Tapa and asks where he is. Gautam comes there and tells Pragya that he got late due to some stupid guy. Pragya says you are already late and asks him to sit. Gautam says the old owner stopped the auction and that is why you called me. Pragya asks that why there was no signature of old owners on the papers. Gautam says that their papers are fake. He says that he got papers from the bank. Pragya says, I got the solution. He says, keep my farmhouse papers until you got that house. Pragya says she is not interested in the farmhouse. Gautam says, I understand. Your obsession is clearly seen for that mansion, and asks what is her interest in it. He says you wanted to get it and now you are desperate to sell it. He asks if you have any old connection with that mansion. Pragya recalls Abhi asking her not to sell the house as their memories are related to the house. She refuses his plea. The flashback ends. Pragya says, I have no old memories with the mansion, and tells that she will see his farmhouse. He says, I will show my farmhouse to you in the evening. Pragya says she wants to go now. Gautam says that he has meetings now. He says that I shall get a chance to present my property well. She says fine and goes. Rhea tells Pallavi that she had no idea that she is going to be the Kohli family daughter-in-law, but now it has happened. Beji says you are Siddharth's wife and haven't become the daughter-in-law of the house, and it will not be until we accepted you. Beji says neither Sid's family was there, nor Ria's family, so it is not acceptable. Don't know who got you married. She says you both got married due to the afraid to be caught. She says when Rambru and Prachi came here 2 years back after getting married, they were not accepted and they were deprived of the blessings, so I don't accept this marriage as well. Sid asks Grandma to accept Rhea as his wife and says that they got married due to helplessness, but have married with all the rituals. Rambru says that Sid liked Rhea at first sight. He liked her before we reached Bangalore. He made a video call to me, but I couldn't see Rhea. Beji says that she wants to talk to Rhea. She says that she couldn't forget whatever happened with them. Even Rambru and Prachi were standing here and had to leave. She says you both shall leave too. Rambru asks that what is their mistake. Beji says that Pallavi will go through the same pain as before and says that they don't accept this mistake. Pallavi says that she accepts Rhea and Sid's marriage and says that you both will stay here. Rhea says Grandma is right. When we were thinking about marriage, we were thinking about drug dealers and cops. She says that there is no mistake of ours and haven't thought about what would happen. She says if I get hurt, then feels pain, but I have to learn from their mistakes. Rhea says that when she came to know that she became the Kohli family daughter-in-law, she became selfish and happy, and she wanted to surprise them, and that is why she came in the veil. She says I had forgotten about the past and thought you would be happy. She says sorry Grandma and Auntie, and says it is up to them to decide if they would accept the marriage or not. She says sorry for hurting them and tells Sid that she doesn't think that this marriage is meant to be. Rhea turns to go. Pallavi stops her and says Mommy G said right. Rambru and Prachi were standing there when I didn't accept them. Then why shall I accept you? She says both mistakes are the same in Mommy G's sight, but there is a small difference. She says Prachi thought about her own happiness and Rhea thought about saving his family, and says Prachi snatched the son from a family. She says when both mistakes are not the same, then why would they be treated the same way? Pallavi says my wound will get not green as seeing Rhea. It will heal and I will get happiness from her, as she knows the meaning of family. She knows trust. She knows to support. She says when Sid met Rhea, she supported him. She turned Prachi to have betrayed her. She says she always liked Rhea and had told Vikram that wherever she goes, she will fill the house with happiness. She says a mother wants a family happiness and says if I rejected Prachi, then it is for family's advantage. Pallavi turns Prachi and praises Rhea. She asks the servant to bring the outie tally as her elder daughter-in-law came. She asks Rhea and Sid to take her blessings. Sid and Rhea takes Pallavi's blessings. Prachi has teary eyes and wipes her tears. Sid and Rhea then takes Grandma's blessings. Pallavi does Rhea and Sid's outie. Rambru and Prachi get hot hearing Pallavi's taunt. Pallavi smiles and asks Rhea to step in the kumkum tally and enter the house. Rhea kicks the kalash and steps in the colored water plate and enters the house. Pallavi takes Rhea and Sid inside. Grandma feels bad for Prachi and Rambru and asks them to come inside. Pallavi stops them and says that I accepted Rhea as a family is safe from breaking and asks that what has Prachi done. She says that there is no place for Prachi in this house. She tells Rambru if you want to come here, then you shall come alone. Rambru says I will say the same thing again and says I will come if you call Prachi or else I will not come. Pallavi says that this will not happen as Lakshmi is welcome in the house but not an auspicious person. Abhi recalls Pragya and Sushma's words. His friend asks him to play the carom board Abhi says that he doesn't want to play. His friend says that the game is not a game without you. They ask what happened to you. Abhi says, I really don't want to play today. He asks them to play and get up to go. He recalls Pragya telling that she has an entire empire and he needs entire bat to win it, and then also he will not win. Sumit's wife comes there and tells that they have to go to the hospital and ask him to deliver the car where he had delivered last time. He says that Sumit asked me to tell you only. Abhi refuses but later agrees. He thinks that he will get a chance to meet Pragya. Few talks was remaining. Pallavi asks if you are feeling bad hearing this or can't see your wife's insult in front of her sister. She asks why did you bring her here and asks him to answer her. Prachi holds Rambru's hand. Pallavi says that wife held his hand and stopped him from answering and asks her to answer. Sid says you are insulting them since they came here. Pallavi asks him to stop defending them if he doesn't want to get insulted himself. Vikram comes there and shouted Pallavi. Pallavi says you know my answer. When he cares for his wife, he doesn't have attachment with us. Prachi gets inside unknowingly and says that he is concerned for you all. Pallavi asks how dare you and pushes her out of the house. Rambru holds her and asks Pallavi what is she doing. Pallavi asks him to take his wife out. Vikram tells Pallavi that he needs his son and get a heart attack. Rambru runs inside to hold him. Prachi also runs inside. Pallavi asks them to call the doctor. Abhi comes to Pragya's house to deliver the car. The watchman asks that what is he doing with the car. Abhi says that he was once an owner and asks him to call Pragya madam. The watchman says that she is not at home and was very angry when leaving. She asks the mechanic to deliver the car at the Tapa farmhouse. He shows him the address. Pragya and Gautam reach the farmhouse. Pragya says that it is not good than the Mera mansion, but it is nice. Its price must not be more than the Mera mansion. Gautam says that he will not come in her talks this time and says that he learnt from her last time. Pragya asks him to give the farmhouse in exchange of the Mera mansion. She says deal is done. Gautam says let's cheers and celebrate with drinks. Pragya says I don't drink and thinks that she can handle it. He says that who said that drinks are just hard liquor and says that they can have soft drinks. Gautam says that our start happened wrongly. I didn't feel bad as I learned from you. You accused me of theft. I didn't feel bad. Then you put the mansion on auction. He says let's start afresh. He asks her to agree. Pragya agrees. Gautam serves the drink to Pragya and says deal is done now. Pragya says cheers. She thinks of Abhi and says whenever I think about him, he comes in front of me. The doorbell rings. Abhi comes there. Thank you everyone for watching. Please if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and please share it and subscribe. Thank you.